everyone. Thank you all so much for being here. For those of you who don't know me, I'm Brittany. I'm the maid of honor. Thank you so much. Katie and I have been friends for almost a quarter of a century now, which is crazy because we're both so young. She's a child bride, honestly. We met in middle school. She was in chorus, and I was in drama. She wore her brother's Tenacious D t-shirt, and I wore my cousin's Ratty Ramones hoodie. Don't try to talk to me about the Ramones after this. I was a poser then. I couldn't listen to them. But I pretty much thought that she was the coolest and funniest person that I'd ever met. And I desperately, desperately wanted to be friends with her. And when Katie and I magically did become friends, and it did feel like magic, I dropped Ashley Aviles like a hot friggin' potato. She was gone, cut from the rough. It was over for her. I was so amazed that she would want to hang out with me, of all people. And I still feel so lucky that out of all of the weird, awkward, cringy theater kids that she could have picked to hang out with, that she picked me. I've been thinking about giving this speech for about 24 years, which gives you a glimpse into my psyche, as I really hate public speaking. Of course, 24 years ago, we thought Katie was going to marry Prince William, and I thought I was going to be giving this speech in front of the Queen, so you can imagine my distress. But even with all of my years envisioning this day, and I truly did, I can honestly say that I thought about Katie's wedding more than mine, which is probably why she's getting married and I'm still single. I still feel at a loss of what to say up here. Because how do you, in a 5-minute speech, that's all the time that you're allotted, rightly so, sum up how I feel about you? How do I put into words how much I love you? Because it's so much more than love, what Katie and I have. It is the most profound, intimate, and transformative relationship of my life. And you are right in thinking we had to fight off a lot of gay rumors when we were young. But we are older now, and we have our own lives, and it's been a long time since our lives revolved solely around each other, which is probably for the best, according to our friends. But I don't think that I understood when I found myself in an engagement plan group chat last year how big and special and life-changing this was going to be until I started writing this speech. It was like free therapy to process, and also not free therapy because I did talk about this in my real therapy, which I did. Every week, baby, shout out to Karina. And I could stand up here and I could wax poetic about how much I love Katie and how wonderful I think she is. How smart and how talented, and we know she's talented, I'm sure everyone has heard her voice. It's beautiful. How she is so brave and resilient and dedicated to whatever endeavor she sets her mind to. How she is the most loyal friend and daughter and sister. How being her friend has changed my life for the better in so many ways. That she is the voice of reason in my head and is by far my biggest and most ardent cheerleader in life always. But the beautiful thing about our relationship is that she knows this all already. We profess our love to each other almost daily. So that being the case, I would love to now talk to you about Steve. I love Steve. I didn't think I was gonna love Steve. He's too handsome. And not just because when he and Katie met, he was living with his parents, which seemed like a red flag. That joke was actually extra funny if you knew that the past year I was living with my parents. But I just couldn't imagine Katie could find anyone that I would deem worthy of a lifetime of her company. I honestly wasn't even really thrilled when Prince William was on the table. But Steve has proved me wrong every step of the way. Steve has assimilated as a Costello so seamlessly. As an honorary Costello myself, I have seen lots of potential partners try and fail to make it in this family. But with Steve, it's like he was always meant to be here. He can karaoke with the best of them. He survives trips to Pennsylvania to Dottie's house with a menagerie of animals, including the occasional bear. He hangs with Mike and Paul, and they genuinely like him. Love him, actually, and not in the I love him because he's my sister's boyfriend, but they genuinely love him in the way that if they broke up, I think they'd still go to Giants games together. That's a good one. You like that one? He puts up with Katie's neuroticism and doesn't take advantage of her extreme gullibility in the way that I wish that he would. I've watched him as he supported Katie through grad school, through terrible jobs, shout out sign up, and planning this wedding. But most importantly, Steve puts up with me. I won't lie and say that being the other half to the other half of our duo is easy, because it's not. Lesser men have crumbled under the crushing weight of our friendship. We have decades of inside jokes, experiences, and memories. We speak our own language, and while I know it hasn't always been easy, Steve puts up with us both. I know that's because he loves Katie, but I also hope it's because he loves me a little bit too. Steve, over the past year, I've had the absolute best time with you. From helping plan your engagement to karaoke with your parents, shout out to them. And always my favorite night, quiet nights in Jersey City, sitting on the couch with Winnie, watching movies, and making fun of Katie. You give us a lot of material. You are the husband that Katie deserves, and you are the brother I never knew I needed. And I am so, so grateful to be able to call you family today. So if everybody can please join me in raising a glass to Katie and Steve.